everyone, this is Angie from Gathered and Sown, and if you were in the 31-day Bible journaling challenge, then I say hello again because I haven't seen you in a while. And if you weren't in the 31-day challenge, then I would actually encourage you to try it because it was so much fun to do. But if you weren't in the 31-day challenge, then I'll just reintroduce myself. I'm Angie, and I have a website called Gathered and Sown, and I make handmade Bible covers and tote bags and accessories to go with Bible covers, journal covers, and planner covers. That is what I do, but Amanda and I created the 31-day Bible journaling challenge, and for me it was just such a great opportunity for myself to commit to getting into the Word and creating the videos and creating the questions and things like that, that the 31-day challenge for me just turned into this much bigger thing than just putting this challenge out there for you all. I actually grew so much from it as well. When Amanda was telling me about the Tuesdays to Create, I was so excited to help her out with this because it was just another opportunity for me to challenge myself and to get back into the Word in a fresh new way and to kind of see what I could come up with. So today we're going to start a series where we're going to talk about 10-minute a day Bible journaling. And this is actually a really simple concept, and this was created out of necessity for myself because I was really moving right along with our Bible journaling challenge and I was enjoying getting into my Bible and coloring. But I have two children, they're 11 and 13, so we're like here and there and here and there all over the place all the time going to different things. For me, time is a big factor. I was finding that a lot of days I'd have the intention and I have my Bible sitting out here on my table and I'd say, okay, Angie, today after you're done with work, before you pick up the kids, before you run off to this place, you're going to work on your Bible challenge. And I would, but it would kind of stress me out because I knew that I had to invest some time. So what I've come up with was something sort of accidental, and I call it 10-minute a day Bible journaling, but it's actually, I usually end up setting out to say, okay, I've got 10 minutes, so I'm going to sit down, I'm going to turn off my ringer, I'm going to turn off everything. I'm home alone and I'm just going to open up my Bible and I'm going to see what God has to say to me. I want to spend some time teaching you guys how I do that and how you can apply it to your own Bible journaling so that you can find those little pockets of time in your day. To start out with, I'm just going to show you my journal, and I have it here. And I just use this, and I'm going to show you guys next week to how I put this all together and how I divide it up and how I write in it and things like that. But to just get you started this week, I'm just going to challenge you to do this. You're going to open up your Bible, and I sometimes, like what I will do is I'll pick up my Bible, and I'll just kind of, like this is actually literally what I'll do. I'll pick it up and I'll open it, and I'll be like, oh, Jeremiah. And then I'll say, I am interested in reading Jeremiah because this is what I opened up to. And then I'll just read in here, and I'll just pick a selection, I'll read it. And then I have the Life Application Study Bible as my main Bible, and so I love the little notes at the bottom. And then oftentimes, too, I'll even use the little cross-referencing notes that most study Bibles will have. I'll read the prompts or the notes at the bottom, and then I just kind of sit for a minute and I think about what God's trying to tell me through this passage. So some days I will summarize the passage, and some days I will actually rewrite the passage, and I just write it down on a page where I summarize what it is that I read that day and how I can apply it for the rest of the day or for the week as I move ahead. And I just found, like, for myself personally, it really helps for me to put pen to paper and to write things down. That helps me to absorb it a little bit better. So, I mean, I'm limited to just a small paragraph in my planner to write in each day, but it also helps me to focus, too, on what the main idea of that passage was. So it's really actually kind of nice. And I often find, too, that I end up reading a lot more and going back to my Bible after I wrote down my passage, too, because I just am interested in learning more. Sometimes 10 minutes a day can turn to a lot more. But then what I do is then after I'm done writing it, then I actually go through and I write out a prayer. And I pray the passage back to God, and I ask Him to help me with some things that are going on in my life at that time that actually apply to what I've read. After that, I choose to write down one blessing for the day. And it can be something really, really small, but I'm just trying to focus on the positive things that God has given me in my life. So someday I might just say, this is beautiful weather we're having, or it might be an accomplishment of one of my kids or something like that. So I read the passage, I write down a summary, or sometimes, like I said, if it's a shorter, if it's a psalm or something, I will just actually rewrite what I read. Then after that, I write out a prayer. And then after that, I write out one blessing. What I love about this method, too, is that I now have this that I can look back at and I can see what God's been doing. And there's been more than one time in the last even week where I'll be having a conversation with somebody about something sort of serious, and then it'll kind of pop back into my head what I had studied the week before. And I know that it's in the Bible, and this way I'm like, I just read this. And I can go back in here and I can see what I read, where I read it, and then what I actually wrote. And it's been so great. That's how I remember things. So I've been able to pull back from what I read earlier in the week. Next week, we're going to spend some time and I'm going to help you guys create your own journal for this. What's going to be fun about it is you don't have to invest in anything. I know that I have like a fancy leather one. You don't need to have anything this fancy to do this method. That's the beauty of it. I will give you some very simple things that you have around your house that you can build your own journal with, and then that'll get you started. But in the meantime, a notebook will work just fine. It's more about getting into the routine this week. And if you aren't comfortable with just opening up your Bible like I do and finding a passage, I also do have a link for a printable where you can have some topics for the next week to kind of get you started in this Bible journaling challenge, because this is just kind of a short-term challenge, but it's just kind of a way for you to try this method out and see if it works for you. And then once you're going and once you're done with your daily 10-minute Bible journaling, I encourage you then to put that into your journaling Bible in the margins and really take the next step to let this all soak in and journal that verse and color it and do all of the fun artsy things that we like to do, because that's just going to be one more step to cement what God's trying to say to you. But I thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to spend the next couple of weeks with you. If you have any questions, please reach out to either myself or Amanda. We're happy to help. Have a great day. Thank you.